Please welcome Milo Ventimiglia. Hi. Congratulations on your show. It's a big success.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. It's nice that there's no superheroes or aliens or scandal. We're just a family, and people are excited about it.
Yeah, it's a really cool show. For those of you who don't know, it's like it's set in 2 different time periods. So they go back and forth, and it's nicely done.
Yeah.
And you have a mustache.
Yeah, I jump decades. So I pretty much go from, you meet Jack, my character, husband to Mandy Moore. We're expecting triplets.
And you,
in
well, you meet...
1979, 80.
Oh, is it 1980?
Yeah.
Okay.
1980, and then...
Well, you meet your ass first. The first thing that comes on screen is your ass. So you're...
Well, thank you. A friend of mine told me it's like porn for women. I'm like, okay.
You're basically a piece of meat, and you need to deal with that.
It's okay. I understand. I mean, look, I'll take it for a while. Then, at a certain point, hand it off to Justin Hartley or Sterling K. Brown or somebody. So, yeah.
Okay, so because when they released the trailer of it, and there were over $100 million, $100 million. It was 100 million views before the show even came out.
It was crazy.
So that must have been a surprise.
Yeah, it was one of those things that, like, if I were to really quantify that, I don't understand. I mean, you line 100 million people up and see if it makes sense. But when they told me it was second to Star Wars, like, I went, oh my God, this is gonna be big. I think this is gonna be big.
Why do you think so many people were into the trailer?
I think because it was relatable. I think because it had something for everyone. I think it was inclusive of age and race and gender and other walks of life. I think there was something that was very familiar and was needed. It was a heart, inside, a big steel case of television that just wants to be, destructive or powerful or life-changing, It's got a heart.
That's true, and I think people like period pieces. People like to think about a time that we're not in.
People like mustaches.
People like mustaches.
Yeah.
Was that your choice to grow a mustache, or did they make you?
It was kind of mustache gate, 2016. I knew I was jumping decades, and I'd said to Dan Fogelman, our creator, I was like, hey, Dan, I think maybe so that I'm not going to be working in a full fake beard because we're going back and forth from like 80 to 88, and we're jumping around time. I didn't want to act in a full fake beard, so I said, why don't I hang on to the mustache for 1988? It'll be a good touchstone to know where Jack is, what's going on in his life, all of that. And Dan actually walked around the production office the day that I got clipped, and he was very nervous because he gave me the thumbs up to do it, but he was still nervous, and he walked around asking every female in the office if she liked it or didn't like it in more explicit terms.
You can use those terms on the show.
Do you want to fuck Milo? Yes, or do you want to fuck Milo? No. And it was split. It was right down the middle.
It's tricky. Mustaches are tricky, but they're making a comeback because the beards took a while. Now everybody's got a beard.
Everybody's got a beard.
Guys, the beard thing is over. Everybody's got it. It's cool when not everybody's doing it, but now mustaches, it's like, you might be ahead of that move. Yeah.
Well, now I walk around, people are like, oh, Movember. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, I get paid to wear this thing. I'm so sorry.
Wasn't there an issue, though, with also your body being too cut up? Like you worked out too much?
So when I got the job, Dan said to me, he said, okay, grow your hair out, grow your beard out, and stop working out. And I went, yes, no. The reason being, though, he didn't want me to look too much like a modern guy, cut and chisel. I mean, if you look at Sterling K. Brown or Justin Hartley, those dudes are two Adonisi.
I don't think so.
Dude, those guys are really cut. Anyhow, they wanted me to feel like I'm 1980 Pittsburgh. And there was an article that was written saying that they can't get behind the show because my physique just took them right out of it. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, but people worked out, and I mean, there was always a guy that's working out in 1988. Totally. It's not like that's just a modern thing.
No. But Dan was worried about it, but yeah, the article that came out, it was just kind of like, I can't get behind the show. And I'm like, you're just looking for a reason not to smile when everyone else is
smiling. What was your argument for to maintain, to continue to work out? What did you say?
Personal health, but then also, Jack works in construction. And I'm like, dude, he's a construction guy. So he's throwing around bags of concrete, and, he's a dad. I wanted him to be strong. I wanted him to be strong. The one thing that in my trailer, every day before I go to set, there's a photograph of my father and I when I was 3 years old, leaning on my dad. My dad's got this beautiful, like, 1980 afro. And I wrote a little note above it, said, be a good husband, be a good father. And it's like really simple. But like, that's the approach that I have for Jack. That's how I want him to be. But for me, it was a man who can convey strength without being overpowering and, empower his kids.
Yeah.
Be fun, be just a good guy.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's nice to hear that from men, You do want to be a good dad and you want to be a good husband.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we're knuckleheads. Men are cavemen. We are. Like, we don't...
Most of you are, yeah.
A lot of us are.
But there are some really good ones, and you really shine bright when you're out there, You're like, wow. You should procreate. We need more of it.
Okay, I'll do that.
What about Gilmore Girls? You're going back and doing that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Was it 9 years that you guys hadn't seen each other, or 8 years?
Yeah, I think it was a long time. I'd kept up with Amy Sherman-Palladino and Dan Palladino, the producers. Went on a few motorcycle rides with Crazy Scott Patterson. Walked into a Starbucks that apparently Jared Padalecki would go to in Vancouver when I was filming, and I kept telling the barista, I'm like, yo, you see Jared, give him a hug. Fucking miss him. But it was weird. It was fun. It was. I mean, how was it for you? I mean, you see people like from your past 13 years ago. You're kind of like,
yeah, it's
hey.
weird. I mean, I would almost be hesitant to go back to something that I left 9 years ago because, I mean, there's a nostalgia, I'm sure, but at the same time, it feels like you're going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you have to think about it?
A little bit, but I mean, for me, the magic of what we do is with the crew. And this was not the same crew. It's the same actors. So I feel like this was, and producers, but I feel like this whole Gilmore thing was for the fans. It was more for them. For us, it was like, hey, we're showing up here for all y'all. It has, the excitement is for us is the excitement that the audience has when, like, I'm walking down the street and like, yo, where's the pompadour? Where's the leather jacket? Oh, you don't have it? I'm like, no, man, that was like 10 years ago. I'm a dad now of 3.
You're not a dad in real life, though,
No,
right?
no, not in real life. No, I totally play pretend. I bullshit my way through being a father on my show. I think the best I can.
That's probably why you're so good at it, because it's not really happening.
Oh, yeah, because it's literally like, there you go. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
Absolutely.
It's nice to meet
Thanks
you.
for having me. Yeah, likewise.
You can watch This Is Us on NBC, and Gilmore Girls is available on Netflix now. Thank you, Milo.